Matthew. Welcome to our farm channel. Yeah, this is the first video of hopefully many to come of our new channel for Sprucebrook Farm. So the first video is going to be an introduction of sort of a little bit of what we do, but mostly the haymaking process, which is the main crop that we harvest to feed our cows and goats, and we sell a little bit. So as you saw, that was a video of me mowing some second cut. This is about a 6-acre field. This is a field that we're mowing off the farm. It's we mow it. Somebody else owns the field, but we just take the hay off of it. So yeah, we're out here doing some second cut in late, I think today's August 25th. But it's not very thick. I'll spin the camera around and show you. There's hardly anything there. But there's something. Something is better than nothing. It's not very good quality hay. There's quite a few weeds in it. We just picked up this field earlier this summer, so we're hoping to how do you say that? Improve it a little bit this fall, put some lime and some fertilizer on it. Hopefully it'll be better next year, but came out to mow it today. Today's Monday the 25th, like I said, I think. Either the 25th or the 26th. So, came out to mow it this morning. Took me, I'm not even sure what time it is, but that took me a couple hours to mow. Yeah. So, I'll show you the mowing setup I got. This is kind of our utility tractor. Does a little bit of everything, but I like to use it for mowing. It's easier because it's a hydrostatic. It's easier if it gets a clog. You can just back up easily instead of having to push the clutch and change gears. But so this is a Kubota L3430. It's 35 horse, so I don't know why it's 34, but whatever. Obviously it has a loader on it. That's mainly what we use it for, is loader work. Need some new front tires, but that's besides the point. So yeah, it's a 35 horsepower tractor, hydrostatic, like I said, with a little foot pedal on the floor. But it's good for loader work. It's sort of okay for farming and stuff, but once you get, as you can maybe tell, you can't really tell, but this, from about there to here, this section of the field is a pretty steep hill. So it struggles a little bit on this field mowing, but all the fields at the home farm are flat, so we don't have any problems with it there. But so yeah, got the Kubota. Missing a light, don't mind that. This is not the normal mower that I would use. This is John Deere 1219, I think. Yeah, a 1219 Haybine. This is not mine. This is, well, it's the farm's, but it's not mine. This is my I guess you could say father-in-law's mower. So we're just using it today because my little disc mower that I've had for a few years is at the dealer getting the cutter bar rebuilt. So I was hoping to have that for this field for second cut, but we'll have it for the home farm for second cut because I'm hoping it'll be done in the next few days. But I just want to get this done. That's why I'm using this mower today. So we'll have the little mower for second cut at the home farm. So I'll show you some video of that when we get to that point. But yeah, just a regular Haybine. It's kind of beat up. As you can tell, the top roll's completely missing the rubber. The bottom roll's starting to flake off a little bit. It's not too bad, but just a little bit. Well, back here quick, I'm gonna clean the grass off. Try to keep the equipment somewhat clean. When I get back to the farm, I'll blow it off with a leaf blower, but that at least gets majority of that off. So yeah, 1209 Haybine. This tractor pulls it, like I said, perfectly fine. The only time it struggles is just going up this side, or up just on this hill on this side of the field. But it still pulls it good for being a 9-foot hay buying only a 35 horse tractor. So, but all right. So there's a little bit of mowing video. I don't think I'm gonna ted this hay because it's very thin. I don't want to lose too much of it. So yeah, I probably won't ted it, but we'll definitely be obviously raking it. So that'll be either tomorrow or the next day. So I'll probably pick up the camera again then and show you guys raking. I meant to bring a mount so I could get some better angles, some better shots of mowing, but I forgot it. So I'll bring that for raking and definitely for baling. So yeah, I'm gonna get this mower folded back up and head back to the farm, and I'll catch you guys when we get to the next part or when something else interesting is going on. All right, we're back. Today's the next day. As you saw in the little video clip from yesterday, I ended up mowing a little like acre piece at home here. And then obviously tedded it out, so it's out drying today. This is a really good drying day, not a cloud in the sky. So perfect hay weather for late August. But yeah, so what I'm getting ready to do is I'm just checking the air in these wagon tires. I'm gonna grease the front end, and then should be all set. We're gonna bring it over to the field that's down the road and stage it there and check out the hay, see how dry it is. I'm probably gonna end up raking it up just to let the underside dry, and then well, we'll see what happens when we get there. So we just recently did some work to this wagon. It was kind of falling apart. It had a actual openable gate here that's sitting right over there that was held up with this chain and then hinges on the bottom, but that was kind of clumsy and not very stable. So we decided to take that off. I just put a board across here just to hold the sides together to stop them from swaying around so much. And the wagon was very short. You can't really tell on camera, but the original wood ends there, and it's just way too short. Even on a low setting on the baler, when you'd be on a side hill or when you're turning a corner, it would throw the bales over the top of the wagon. So we added an extra foot on top to stop it from stop the bales from coming over the top. So yeah, I'm gonna real quick check the air in these tires, and like I said, grease up the front end, and then head over to the field, and I'll catch you when we get there. All right, out here at the field, got the wagon. Let's check out this hay, see how it feels. A lot of weeds. So this is milkweed. As you can tell, there's a lot of it in this section right here. There's a little bit there, a little bit there. There's not too much, but it's not like all over the field, but where there is sections of it, there's a lot of it. The milkweed itself, the stem is getting fairly dry. It still has a little bit of moisture in there. You could feel. You might even be able to see it. See that it's still. So that's obviously not dry, but it's getting there. This is some more weedy. I honestly don't even know what this weed is called, but it's getting fairly dry. This is a little more grassier section here. This stuff is crispy. This stuff that's just the grass is crispy, dry, red. Could bale that section right there, which is crazy considering it's been not even 24 hours since I've cut this hay. And per second cut, It's very thin, so it's understandable that it dries very quick. And we had really nice sun yesterday afternoon and really nice sun today. But yeah, so I think what we're gonna do is unhook this wagon, and I'm gonna head back to the farm and get the little Kubota and the rake and bring it over here and get this hay raked up into probably triples, or either 3 rows into one or 4 rows into one. I'm not totally sure. I have to see what it looks like once I start actually raking it up. So I'll leave this pin here. I like to leave every wagon or every piece of equipment with a pin. Just makes it easier. But all right, so I'm gonna head back to the farm, get the tractor, and bring over here and start raking, and I'll pick up the camera once we're doing that. All right, we're back here in the field with the rake. So what I'm gonna try to do with this video is kind of show you guys how all the equipment works, and you know, just how it works. I didn't do that with the mower yesterday, but that's all right. We'll get that in a different video. So this is my Heston 3800 roll bar rake. Bought it at an auction a couple years ago. It's been a good rake. I don't think anything's broken on it. The only thing, obviously, like any other rake, is the teeth break off, because what we have here are cheapo Tractor Supply teeth. So yeah, I actually just replaced a whole bunch of teeth. Like, this is a new one here, or tines. I mean tines, whatever you want to call it. I just replaced a whole bunch. So right before we started doing the second cut. So hopefully it'll pick up a little bit better. But yeah, so what we're gonna do is get it set up. So you crank these handles down. This handle moves this side up and down, and this handle moves this side up and down. So you want to crank them down an equal amount of turns until the teeth are just barely above the ground. So what we're gonna do is crank down. This handle's kind of a pain, so I'm gonna crank them down, and then I'll come back once I have this part set up where it has to be. All right, so I got that set up. So as you can see, they're just barely scraping the ground. They're a little bit lower right now than what you'd normally do for like first cut, just because the second cut tends to fall down a little bit more. It's not as fluffy, and especially because I didn't ted it, so it's not going to be all like fluffed up and easy for the rake to pick up. So I set it down two or three cranks lower than I normally would. So if we go over a dirt, like if we go over a high spot in the middle, it might actually break one of these teeth off, but that's all right. I have extra, and they're fairly cheap. So yeah, so we got the rake set up to the correct height. So then what we do is, if you could see this this shaft here that goes between the two wheels, this is what drives, it essentially gives power to the rake. So this shaft drives off of both of these wheels, and it drives off both wheels, so that when you're making a turn, if this wheel's not moving, this wheel's still moving, which allows the rake to continue to rake when you're going around a corner. The power from those wheels transfers to here into this gearbox, which then turns the reel this direction, pushing the hay this way and making an ice line here, easy to pick up with the baler. So the next step is this lever here. We need to engage the gearbox, so we need to move this lever, which is connected to here, to this bar. There could be a string here that you can bring to the tractor, but that's just kind of pointless because you have to get off the tractor anyway to raise and lower this when you go down the road or to other fields. So I just don't even bother putting a string there. It's pointless. So what we're going to do is pull it. See how it's locked in right here? This is in a disengaged mode, so it doesn't allow the rake to spin when you're driving. So what we're going to do is pull it, and it puts that like that. And now this cable is loose. So as soon as we drive forward, the rake will spin. Show you again. And then when you pull it back like this, that's the rake disengaged. So when you drive, it won't spin, but we're going to have it engaged because we're trying to rake right now. So yeah. So now it's engaged. So I'm gonna get a few passes in and then I'll pick up the camera. All right, so I don't know how well you can hear me over the sound of the tractor, but what we're doing is we're raking 3 windrows together. So I raked in twice and then I'm raking out once just to make sure all the hay gets picked up. And it's not a super big windrow, but I don't want to make too big of a row because it still needs to dry a little bit. There's still some wet clumps. So we're just trying to get it up off the ground into a row so it can dry, hopefully a little bit better without having to tent it. So, yeah. All right, just got done raking the field. Not that much hay out here. There's still quite a few wet clumps. This is actually a fairly dry spot, but there's still a few wet clumps. So I got some other stuff to do this, some non-farm related stuff to do this afternoon. So we're gonna leave this till tomorrow, and then after the dew burns off in the morning, I'm gonna come back and just flip the rows over. So yeah, I just unhooked the rake. We're gonna leave that here, so I don't have to keep dragging it back and forth. I'm gonna drive the tractor back to the farm. But yeah, I probably won't film any raking tomorrow because, you know, you've seen enough raking. Pretty much the same thing. Just I just gotta take the rows and just flip them, fluff them up, and help dry off the morning dew from tomorrow. So the next clip you'll see will be me getting the baler all greased up and ready, and then we'll get into that. All right, guys, we're back. It's Wednesday afternoon. Got the hay. I had someone else flip the hay over for me this morning, and we got the little bit of hay raked up here at home. So it's drying nicely. So yeah, we're here getting ready to get the baler ready. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how to do that, and I'm going to show you how it works. So just to start off, this is a New Holland 315 small square baler. I've had it for, I don't even know, 3 or 4 years now. So it's a good baler. Haven't had too many problems with it. A belt on this, a bearing here, a couple, you know, just some little stuff that wears out over time. But for the most part, no issues with it. So yeah, I'm going to show you what I do to get it ready for baling. So the first thing I'm going to do is we got some Cecil baling twine. So this is, well, it's technically Tyrite Cecil baling twine, which means it's biodegradable. So if you leave it out in a field or in the pasture, it biodegrades over time instead of the plastic. We just like to use this better because when you cut, when you're baling, the baler will cut little ends. I can't find any right now actually, but the baler will cut little strips off and then it flings them everywhere, and then, you know, you'll have pieces of plastic all over your field. So I'm going to open this twine up and put it in there. And then I'm going to put it in here, and then I'll just show you how to thread it through the needles. So as you can see, I've got the twine in the box here. This is an extra large twine box on this particular baler, so you can fit 6 balls of twine in here. We don't need 6 balls today because we're not going to use that much twine. So I got 2 balls in there. You can see the yellow faded sticker there. It shows you exactly how to thread it through and thread the needles. So, but I'm going to try to do my best to show you how to do it. It's a little difficult to get all the camera angles and do it. So what we're going to do is take the first ball. So I'm going to take this end. You want to always pull from the middle. So I'm going to take this end. And when you start, there's already a little knot at the end. I always just like to cut that off. Makes it easier. So cut that little knot off. And then if you could see here, there's these little porcelain guides, these white porcelain guides. So what we're going to do is run the twine through this plate right here, which is a tensioner. I'll show you this a little bit up closer once I get it all through. So we're going to run it through there and pull a bunch of slack through. And then there's another porcelain guide here. We're going to run it through this one. Then we have to go underneath the baler to get it into the actual needle, so I'll show you that. All right. So we got to get down here underneath. You can't see in the video, but these are the needles right here. I think you can see that, but these are the needles right here, 1 and 2, and these are the eye of the needle. On the back side of this plate right here, there's 2 more porcelain guides that you run the twine through. So what I'm going to do is run this piece of twine through the far one. It's a little difficult to do. You can see it comes through the top of that porcelain piece. And then we're going to run it through the needle here. And then you just take this part that comes out of the front of the needle and just tie it off to any solid piece in the frame. And then when the baler when the knotters trip and it goes to tie a knot, it'll break it off and then you'll be all set to go. So I'm just going to tie this to a random spot over here. It doesn't really matter where you tie it, I just tie it in the same spot every time. So that's how you thread it. So that's threading the needles completely done there. So let me see if I can get you to see it. You can't really see, but there's another little porcelain thing back there that the twine goes through. So all I'm going to do is just repeat that for the other ball we have real quick, and then I'll come right back and we'll get it all greased up and finish getting it ready. So I have the whole baler greased except for the knotters. So I'm going to show you how to do that correctly, because if you screw it up, it can give you a lot of headache and you'll be wondering why your baler's not working right. And it's just, this is a very important part of the knotters, is making sure you grease them correctly. So with most equipment, it's too much grease can never hurt anything, which is true for most equipment. Specifically, the knotters on a small baler, too much grease can most definitely hurt it. So yeah, you just want to make sure you don't over grease it. So I'm going to show you. So I'm greasing here. This fitting is being annoying. Okay, so I grease just barely. I don't know if you could see, you probably can't see that, but I just barely greased, so just a tiny bit of grease came out of the top, but I'm still going to wipe that off. After I'm done greasing, I always wipe off all the excess grease, because any excess grease allows dust to build, which affects the performance of your knotters. So let me get this done, and then I'll show you what it looks like before I wipe it off and then after. You can see I did grease the knotters and everything, but I wiped up all of the excess big globs of grease because you don't want dust sticking to them. Obviously they're dusty right now, but I've seen way worse. I try to clean off the baler every time after I'm done using it, but obviously, as you can tell, one time or two times I didn't, and then you get this stuck stuff on here that doesn't like to blow off easily. So got the knotters greased, got the whole baler greased, got it filled up with new twine. So twine box can be a pain to close. So I'm going to head out to the field, and then once we get to the field, start getting some hay running through it. I'll show you a little bit about how it works, and then hopefully we'll get some hay baled without too many problems. So, all right, I'll catch you guys in a little bit. All right, over here at the field, this extremely weedy, thin hay is very dry. So, just got the baler all set up, got the wagon hooked up. I'm going to make a couple bales, make sure everything's working correctly, and then I'll start taking some video. So just finishing up for the day. Just back the wagon under cover. It's not supposed to rain for a few days, but I'm not sure exactly when we're gonna get to unloading it. So just backed it under here anyway. Got 96 bales in the wagon, 60 from the field down the road, and then the rest from the field at the farm here. So all in all, fairly successful. No breakdowns except the tire fell off the baler on the way back to the farm, but no big deal. It was just the rim that was on there was kind of screwed up, so I just changed out for a different rim and came back here, finished baling this hay, and now I'm just gonna finish up evening chores, and that'll be it. So that's gonna be it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and yeah, like I said in an earlier part, this is the first video that I'm gonna be posting on our channel. So yeah, we still have some more second cut to do, so there'll be some more videos of that, and yeah, we'll find something else to take videos of. So look at how pretty this is. Doesn't get much better than that on a summer night. But yep, so just getting ready to bring the cows in for the night, and we'll see you on the next one.